We are live, coming with a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I'm your host, Trevor, and tonight we are joined by Alex. Alex, how are you doing tonight?
Yo.
We're also joined by Andy. Andy, how are you doing tonight?
What up?
And we are here, episode 15. I don't know about this episode. This is very Mas o menos, and there was something I looked at earlier today that kind of pissed me off, but it doesn't feel that way. But it kind of pissed me off, which I'll get into. But initial thoughts tonight. Alex, what do you got?
I didn't like tonight's episode. I'm trying to try not to be like too negative-y, just because I still am excited about the season. I think the season's been really good. It was so predictable, and we're at kind of that part of the season where, you know, if this person wins or loses, this is going to happen, and that's exactly what happened. There really was not much to it. I just think it was one of the worst episodes of the season. But again, I'm just going to try to stay positive, look forward to next week.
Andy, what do you got?
This felt like a mid-season lull episode. This felt like episode 8, episode 9. The daily wasn't great. The elimination wasn't great. Everything was predictable, so there wasn't much drama. Post-daily, pre-elimination. It gave me mid-season lully vibes. But we're like an episode or two before the final. So, by no means do I think we're really losing steam, because this is probably one of the only two episodes. This is one of 2 episodes of the season so far that I thought were a true miss. And the fact that we're getting it so close to the final, I don't care, because it is right around the corner. You do not want to go home now. So episode-wise, meh. Season-wise, buckle up.
Let me go this route with you, because, you both kind of said, we're close to the end and stuff like that. How close do you guys actually think we are? How many episodes do you guys think we have left?
There's 5 and 5 left. We're in the final 10.
Yep.
I think it's 2 more non-finale episodes and then a 2-part finale, 4 and 4.
So 4 episodes is where you're going at.
Yes.
So let me go this route with you. Are you really telling me that this show is probably going to go into 2025? Because let's do the math. Next week, December 11th. Next week, December 18th. There's no way they're going to have a Christmas episode. Are we going to have a 2-week break before the finale? I'm just being honest. And what I was getting at earlier today, we've talked about a great season, all this. Do you guys remember when the season actually started? Do you know the first episode?
Wasn't it August?
There was the little preview show was August 7th. The first episode was August 14th. We've been doing this since August. So we talk about how there hasn't been much of a lull. We've been doing this shit since August, and you're telling me there is a good chance we go into 2025.
I think it's a guarantee.
So my question is, if you're I'm guessing next week a guy elimination, the following week a female elimination, and then we're at the final. So December 18th will be locked and loaded, female elimination done. Are we really not going to? Are we going to get a 2-week break?
You know what would be just incredible? Would be a 1-episode, 2-part, 3-hour-long Christmas finale. Christmas Day, 8:00 p.m. Eastern until 11. That'd be unbelievable. That'd be like Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel. That would be unbelievable.
I mean, would you do a pod?
We have no choice.
Santa hats? God.
So, yeah, what was the thing you looked up earlier? Was it the date?
Yes.
Okay.
That I was thinking we started Dr. Pepper over here. I feel like we started, mid-September, close to October almost. August?
Well, we did take 2 weeks off, and it's looking like we might take 2 more weeks off.
I know. So, like, in a normal time frame, we didn't even take 2 weeks off because we were live last week. But in a world like, sorry, I'm reading Ryan McCord's comment. Just wait until they bring the Redemption House. I mean, could you imagine? I'm just thinking, like, there is a world where it is going to be 2025, and this season is still going.
But I don't think that's as normally as bad as it would sound over the past like 8 seasons. Because this season has been good. Tonight's episode was not good. We had a few other bad episodes kind of scattered throughout the season, but like as a whole, I still have enjoyed this season
thoroughly.
I just don't know how much I got left in me, Alex and Andy. That's all I'm saying. God. But let's dive right in tonight's episode. And we got to start with Tommy Tsunami's streak. Chalk her up. Chalk her up. Corey being the first person to walk in the house, chalk it up. I wonder if Tommy Tsunami's second streak will hit. We'll find out here in about 2 minutes. If he still doesn't know what the streak is. So there was that. What did you guys think? You know, when they always go into the first like minute of the episode, they always do like a challenge flashback. What did you guys think about the Sarah moment? Oh, come on, Sarah.
It was great. It was a great flashback. I think this was did this make the honorable mentions of our Mount Rushmore last week of what ifs? What if Sarah doesn't send bananas in? That has a huge ripple effect. I think it's an all-time moment, and those are always like smirky, fun ways to start off the episode.
It keeps the idea of the eras alive. Doing those little flashbacks at the start of every episode, it's the battle of the eras. And I know there were different colors and the different teams, era 1, 2, 3, 4, yada, yada. But doing something small like that is still like, let's not forget where we came from. And I
thought they were going to do a little foreshadowing. Like, for a second, they did that. And then at the end of tonight's episode, not to jump too far ahead, but I'm literally at the end. Like, could you imagine if Jenny voted in bananas? I don't know if that was a little too much, but that'd been crazy. But so yeah, that was smirky. Pre-challenge, nothing too crazy was happening. Just kind of, you see kind of the divide still in the house. And then we get to our daily, which the daily starts off, they're all in this like wooded area, and Tej just coming from the ground, which, I mean, that was pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. That was smirky. What do you guys think about that?
That was the highlight of the daily.
Oh, come on.
It really was. That was awesome. Probably one of the top 5 TJ entrances.
Ooh.
For me.
I'm trying to remember some of his more like classic ones, like some of them, like him, I think like World of Worlds, he came in with like ATV.
Yeah.
Didn't he do a jet ski once or something? Like, I'm trying to remember what else he's done, but I mean,
didn't he do
dude.
Wasn't there some sort of like pendulum jump that one guy quit on?
Oh yeah. You're talking, that was Invasion.
Oh no, he didn't do that on the entrance, but I think when the guy was quitting, it showed a clip of TJ doing that before they did it, just because he wanted to do it.
And then he was too scared to do it. The actual challenger.
Yes.
This daily, I liked it, and I can see why anybody would say they didn't like it. I just I love like underground tunnels. I love underground shit, like crawling around like that. It's just like one of my weird things. So I like seeing that. But it was like a terrible challenge to watch. It was all dark. You're going one at a time. But anything with like stuff underground, I'm just all in for.
Yeah. The whole running through the tunnels to a puzzle and then running out to like another puzzle. I agree with Alex. Like I like kind of that it's something different that we haven't seen all season. It just kind of gives a different vibe, and it's like some people who are like, I mean, that would suck to do. Like I feel like you're just literally like this, and I don't know how dark it honestly was, but definitely a tough challenge. What did you guys think about Aviv just like DQing herself?
Well, if it was really like pitch black, you can't blame her. Like
Yeah.
if it's that dark and you don't know where you're going and you kind of run into some sticks that like it was two little sticks like with a little X. Like what? If you run into that, you're gonna just go right through it. Like that was kind of dumb.
Did they have a light on at all, or was it just like a GoPro and that was it?
It seemed very GoPro-y, but that seemed to be about it.
God. I'm trying to think of any other.
How about like the first door that they went in? That thing was like the size of a piece of paper.
Oh yeah, like could you imagine?
Anissa was still here?
They would have had to make it bigger.
They wouldn't have been able to do it.
Been DQ'd.
They seriously wouldn't have. They would have had like she would have been able to probably get down to like maybe her waist, and then TJ would have had to like stomp on her head, almost like do like a Mario Party ground pound, like where you double hit A to just like force her down into the tunnel.
No comment on that.
All right.
Just
I think this daily, I think visually it was cool, but I think it would have been better as like part of a final. As like a checkpoint in a final where like it doesn't matter that like everybody has to kind of do it one at a time because like they're all arriving there at different points, and it's just like go down into one of these tunnels, like make it like the longest one of that course or whatever. You get to the end, you do a puzzle. Like that would have been like I think a cool part of a final, because the final is going to have like 10 or 12 different like things or checkpoints. Like make this one of them. It just doesn't work the best as like a daily.
yeah. It just is. I don't know. It just, especially this late in the game too. I feel like this is kind of a weird one. It almost gave me vibes of. Do you remember the what challenge was it? Maybe Spies, Lies, and Allies. The one where they were in the cave. Didn't they do one in the cave where they were running?
Was there a drone?
Yeah, but that was like, wasn't it like two parts? The drone, and then everybody was like crashing the drone. But I thought there was another part to that. Am I just, for some reason, I thought there was a running part through. Maybe. I'm confusing. I don't know. They're so long ago. All those seasons blend together. So Kylan and Tori pick up the win. Aviv, like I said, got DQ'd, and Bananas just did the puzzle backwards. He didn't know there was another eye, which it's kind of smirk.
Him finding out about that afterwards, when like half of the cast had finished, that was smirky. When he was like, "Wait, there was another side."
So good. So like I said, Kylan and Tori win, Aviv and Bananas last, and that was kind of it. Then we kind of go into deliberation, the house, and all that. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
No.
So we go back to the house. What do you think about Michelle's birthday party?
I'm just out on all of it.
I'll say we'll get to that.
Kind of like CT Legends Tour?
Yeah, we're circling it.
One of these days.
I'm out on the birthday party. I'm out on fake Devin. I'm out on Carl. I'm just out on all of it.
You know what's crazy to think about? And sorry to jump off the rails a little bit here already, but
that's not like you.
CT Legends Tour I brought up. CT was on the season.
What do you mean?
God. Leroy was on this season.
Leroy who?
Okay. I'm out.
Yeah. The Michelle birthday party. Never again. Never again.
Wow. Andy's not a fan.
No. which was immediately followed up by the Angels then talking about their feet again.
Yeah, this is just this episode wasn't a good episode because there wasn't like good parts of it.
Correct.
Like the daily wasn't that great. The stuff before the daily was like nothing. The stuff after the daily was like a birthday party no one gives a shit about and like a chamber that we all knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. And let's talk about the chamber. I mean, we all knew Jenny was going to get voted in over Michelle. Like, it wasn't even close. Such a waste of like 15, 20 minutes. Like, this would have been, you know how the challenge, they've done it a few times, and it's kind of weird when they do it. This would have been a great 60-minute episode tonight. You know, when they kind of just throw a random one in for no reason? Like, this was the one to do.
That's a good point.
And I know you've never really talked about 60-minute episodes, Trev, but that's been something I've been a big advocate for. This would have been perfect. Yeah. You probably wouldn't have liked it, but me and Alex would have a lot.
No, but I think like 60-minute episodes, like they're just always so good. And we got to get back to the roots, like how like Fresh Meat was. Speaking of Fresh Meat, I feel like we need Fresh Meat 3. And I know like Alex and I are all in on Fresh Meat 3 and Andy's not, but like, you know.
Well, and Trev, you're forgetting that Tony Raines was also on this season. And I know I was leading the charge on we need to get Tony back, but you must have just missed that.
A 60-minute episode for this episode would have meant that the chamber was literally just like they all sit down, they laugh about it, they flip the timer, flip it back, and like that's it. Like literally no more than 1 minute. Like it was the only excitement that I got out of watching the chamber was a potential Tori nip slip. Like there was nothing else to watch that part of the episode for.
No, it was terrible.
Speaking of Tori in the chamber, her little pry to try to, you know, stir the pod, if you will, of if Bananas wins, who do you think he would keep? It's like, and they were both just like, that's like, we're going into the elimination against each other together. Like, what are you trying to do here? It seemed like very like Tori trying to stir shit up when it just doesn't make sense to. It was like, it kind of was like, what are you doing here? Like, this isn't the time or the place.
Honestly, didn't hate that move, to be honest. Let me go this route with you, Andy. If that was Bananas in that spot, what would you be saying right now?
Well, first off, that's what Bananas does. So I'd be more surprised if he didn't do something like that. Second off, I don't think he would because it's irrelevant. Like, these two people are like, there was no vote. It was two people going into elimination. One of them's getting sent home, and one of them saving Bananas. So for Tori to then try to be like, what do you think he would have done? It's like,
doesn't matter. No, I get it.
Hypothetical that's just out of thin air. Bananas is an expert of stirring the pod. He would know when it doesn't make sense to do that.
Oh yeah. I feel like the thought of somebody outside of Bananas Angels approaching Bananas Angels and being like, you know, Bananas, and let's say this is back like Laurel, Aviv, Jenny, Rachel, you realize that like if Bananas has to pick, like he can't pick all of you all at once. Like, what would you do? Like, and I don't know if anybody really ever thought about trying to stir the pod that way, but like they should have done that 5 episodes ago. Like to do it like Tori did it in the chamber when literally it's like trying to get Aviv like and Jenny to start up some shit. Like the two girls who are literally going in against each other. One of them is not going to be here in a day. Like that just made no sense. It was actually kind of pathetic.
It was very pathetic. And like TT mentioned in the chat, like it was when Bananas talked to Naya about where she was at on Jordan's list. Yes, but it was the perfect timing because it was like halfway through the season. That was when alliances were starting to be like, all right, well, we have these numbers. We have these numbers. I don't know where these people lie. Boom, the Banana Man strikes. And it worked out perfectly because I think Naya either voted Jordan in or Maybe Michelle did. Somebody like then flipped because of that. That's Bananas doing Bananas things. This was Tori trying to do Bananas things. Leave it to the experts here.
Okay. Let's talk elimination. Jenny versus Aviv. This whole what would be the best way to describe this? Balls in kind of vibe, but like you're just not putting it in. You're just balls outside.
Kind of balls out.
Balls out. Yeah. Yeah. I kind of like this elimination. It was just the matchup kind of sucked. Like if it was like Jordan versus Bananas, it'd be like a fun elimination. If it was like Cara versus Tori, I think it'd be a fun elimination. This is kind of a mismatch. Thoughts?
I didn't love it, and maybe that was the matchup that we got because it was so dominant. But I think there was something there. I think it would have been more interesting if the triangle was a little bigger. I think it was just basically like them both sliding to the ball, and then the taller person, the bigger person, is just going to get it and kind of like muscle their way to the thing. Whereas like if you have it a little longer, maybe they like don't necessarily put the ball in a corner, but they like drop it in and you can go once it hits the ground or something. Something like that where it's a little more like still physical, but there's also a lot of like speed and agility. I think that would have helped. And at the end of the day, it goes back to something that we talk about all the time. Like this was kind of like a balls in challenge, but if you're going to do that, just give us balls in.
Correct. That's fair.
And this was also one that was height extensive as well. Like if you are the taller person, whether you're on offense or defense, it provides a massive advantage. And you just so happen to have one of the tallest females against the shortest female. That's one of those where it's like, can you not try to level the playing field?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just kind of bothers me. Like, I would have loved to seen this elimination again, just with two different people. And I don't know. They kind of just burned it on this matchup.
It was almost like they had. I mean, this is maybe the second or third to last elimination of the season. It was almost like they just had like leftover equipment. They had like all these eliminations planned out, and they were like, "Hey, we have these three gates that we use for elimination on episode 4. Let's put these, and we lost the fourth one, so we can kind of make a triangle out of it. And then, we have this medicine ball from the house. Let's put that in the middle. And then we have this little rope, and let's just kind of tell them to throw the ball out."
Yeah, it was lazy E.
Oh, lazy.
Who would your ideal matchup be for this elimination on this season for girls and for guys if everyone is in?
Guys, I would do Jordan versus Derek.
Which Derek?
The Maniac.
Okay. Huh. So they would each be playing without a limb because Derek broke his leg earlier this season.
Yeah.
Guys, I would go.
Actually, someone else would be great. If Josh went against anybody, do you think Josh could throw it over the thing?
I could see Josh having a lot of trouble throwing it over. And then once he finally did, he just like launches it and it goes like way past the rope, but he got it over. So he's happy with himself.
God, I could see that. What were you thinking, Alex?
I would want it for guys. It's kind of a weird matchup, but what about like Jordan versus Theo? Because Theo has like no real height comparison. Because I was trying to think who would kind of be someone on like Theo's level. The answer is really there's nobody on this cast. And so like if you just took kind of like the base question of which guy on paper is probably the best to do this, like I feel like Jordan is one of the top people that come to mind. So what would it be like if you just took him versus the guy that like physically might have the best shot in Theo? I think that would be an interesting kind of obscure E matchup.
That would be an interesting matchup.
What about this matchup? And I think both these people were on the show. Brad and Darrell. I think a little redemption from the black eye.
Cage match?
Cage match.
You love the black eye.
I love the black. Darrell beat the shit out of him. Well, what the better than the black eye? Like Darrell was just. I do think there is a right answer for the girls, though. I'm going Laurel and Emily.
I think
I don't hate that matchup. Here's my thing. I would say if we're doing like weight classes, and that we say that's like the heavyweight matchup, I like that. And then if we were
Anissa would be heavyweight.
And then I think the class below them is Rachel versus Cara.
Ooh.
Two like
Welterweight, if you will.
Physically built, like could handle it. I think Rachel even this season had an elimination where she was throwing a ball. So she'd be good with that. So I kind of like that as a secondary matchup.
I like that. Trev, what do you got? Anything else?
I gotta kind of remember some. I want to do a different pick.
Jenny would also be great in that heavyweight because like she dominated tonight, but her against a Laurel or an Emily would be interesting.
So what about, this is not like the best matchup, I think, but it would be interesting because we were kind of close to getting it tonight. What do you think like in a Vive versus Michelle matchup would look like? Because those are the two smallest girls left. And like, if you look at those two compared to the rest of the cast right now, each of those girls, I feel like, would only have a shot in this elimination against each other.
I don't hate that idea.
You said
I think Aviv wins. I think Aviv's pretty strong. She kind of gave Jenny a run for her money.
She did.
Like, I just think Jenny would wax the floor with Michelle.
I
don't
think
it'd be close.
Yeah.
So Jenny versus anybody. How like looking at this elimination, was Jenny like that much better? Do we think like how many people out of this entire what did we have? We had 20 female cast members this season.
Yeah.
Where would you rank her power rankings on this elimination? Would she be top 5? Would she be top 3?
Yes.
Okay, and okay, so top 3. Who are the only 2? It would be Laurel. No? Laurel, Emily, anybody else?
I think that's 3.
That's my top tier.
Those are the top
That's
3.
my heavyweight class.
You would so
for this elimination.
For this elimination. What about Rachel? So you would take Jenny over Rachel in this elimination?
Yeah.
Rachel has surprised me this season. I didn't expect her to be this good.
I think from a size and strength perspective, those 3 girls are all kind of like a slight notch above anybody else on the cast, like including Rachel and like Cara and Tori.
Okay.
Because they probably have like 4 inches on Rachel and probably like 15 pounds, which is, again, is just like of muscle. But I think that's enough of a size difference to actually make an impact.
Yeah. All right. What about somebody else who was on this season? I still can't believe he was on the season. I'm trying to get like a different matchup, and I just want your guys' opinion. If it was, I don't want to throw Jordan back out here. I'm trying to find somebody who's kind of their level. Horacio. Where do you think Horacio would have been in this one?
Ooh, give me a Horacio Kyland matchup.
I was looking at that. I think Horacio would win that.
Kyland's good.
Not like Horacio Corey.
Ooh. I don't hate that.
That's a good matchup.
See, I feel like this one, like I said, size is like so important in this one where you can kind of just, I mean, they literally showed the bananas backpack during this elimination tonight. Like, I would love to see two people that are very even in this, and that's what sucks.
Yeah,
Um,
we just didn't get that tonight.
I'm trying to see who else. God, Leroy was on this season. Mark Long was on this season. God. All right.
So what do we think about, and we'll cover this obviously in our season recap, but what do we just think off the top about Aviv going home tonight?
I mean, overall, I feel like all of us had Aviv pretty low, except I think Andy had her the highest.
Correct.
Don't remember what. I think you had her like, was it like 8, 9, 10 in that range?
Yeah.
Higher. Yeah. I think Alex and I had her 15 and below, both of us around that level. Honestly, like, we'll never see her again. So, like,
What do you mean? Oh, we just have to wait another 20 seasons.
oh, come on.
I mean, I
read
think
something that she was like a last minute addition, like wasn't going to be on the cost, and they just kind of was like, "Oh, we need to add somebody."
I think that's true.
I know. I'm serious.
I think Melinda was supposed to be on air too, and then she dropped out. I'm glad we got Aviv.
Viva Aviv. Viva Aviv. And I also think Aviv provided enough entertainment to be considered a good overall season. She wasn't really just a lamp sitting in the corner. She wasn't necessarily stirring things up, but she was very in on the Bananas Angels. She was involved in the conversations. Like she wasn't like Casey. You know what I mean? Like this was, I thought, a good overall top to bottom season.
So you think she'll get a call back?
I think she'll get a call back. I don't know if she'll come back, but how can you not? Well, I mean, she is old, but she performed well. I would say she gets a call back, but we don't see her again.
Okay. I don't know. I'm so 50-50. She wasn't bad, but she wasn't great. Like, I think kind of the theme of tonight, Más o menos.
Well, but you've got to say that of the 14 girls eliminated before her, she was a better competitor than all of them because she made it this far.
Okay.
She played a good political game that helped her make it this far. And she was more entertaining than a lot. Like, if you look at the girls that survived like that first big purge and got into the actual like game, she was more entertaining than the vast majority of them.
Yeah, I think Aviv, she lost tonight, so she didn't end up like winning an elimination or even like a crucial daily or anything. But aside from that, like she did kind of check every box. Like she was competitive,
Yeah.
She was athletic, she had good endurance, she got along with the cast, she interacted with the cast. She was like not just like a floater, she was like a full-fledged member of an alliance of like the biggest guy in the game. Like she was there to play the game. And I think also like she was obviously an era 2, but she is kind of very era 1E because she was that far back. And you could kind of just see that by her personality. Like we talked about early on in the season when era 1 was still around, how it was fun to have them around because their outlook on the game was just so different. They were much more like laid back and not like in a way where we didn't care about the game, where it was just like, we don't need to be like this serious. Like we are here to have fun. And you kind of felt that with Aviv. And she, obviously the rest of era 1 goes home, and like her and Rachel were like the 2 oldest females left. And like, you could kind of feel that with her. Like she wasn't getting in, you see like somebody like Tori and Devin and Casey, and they're like, every elimination is like, how could you do this to me? Like, we're your friends, blah, blah, blah. And like Aviv is just like, I'm here. I know who my allies are. I know who's not on my side. Like, let's play. And like, she probably had, I would guess, if you were just like survey the cast members, one of like the highest approval ratings. So
I think it's a perfect way to put it. She wanted to play the game. Like, she's got a husband, she's got kids, and she came on the show, but she was willing to kind of put that to the side to play the game. Not a lot of people do that. And a lot of them think that playing the game is just the social game, like Josh and Casey and Michelle and like that whole Vacation Alliance. Like a lot of them are just, they think it's Survivor. They think it's Big Brother. Aviv was here to play the game. She fucked up her foot and didn't bat an eye. Like she continued to perform well. She played the game.
She did, and she is going to go down, I think, as like one of the coolest. Like when we look back at this season, it's going to be one of the more interesting, like just challenge resumes. Because I feel like when we throw out hypotheticals, we'll say like this person did a challenge or two and they never came back. Like what would happen if they came back? And Aviv was kind of that person. She comes on, she wins her one and only season, and then she's just gone. She's not like in the challenge universe whatsoever. And we just kind of forget about her. And it's like, well, I wonder what would happen if like Aviv just came back to a random season and did it. And like now we got that answer. Like she performed.
Yeah. I can't believe you guys are high on her. I feel like.
How can you? What's your knock against her, Trev? Talk to us. What's your knock against her?
I just didn't think she did that much. But here's the thing. I don't think that many people. Here's the thing. I think we can all agree. There's a lot of people that carry the show. Fair? Like I think the knock on Emily.
What
Like
does that mean?
No, I'm just saying. Like Bananas carries the show. Like Laurel carries the show because of both sides. Aviv was just there along for the ride. It's not like she did much. The difference between her and Emily, good competitor, very similar, doesn't stir the pot, kind of just goes with the flow, a Landon-esque competitor. But I feel like I would rather have an Emily who's better, like a better contestant. That's just my opinion.
So I think that's a little subjective, especially based on this season, because Aviv did literally make it not only further than Emily, but significantly further than Emily. But let me ask you this. What are your overall thoughts on Rachel for this season? Because I think up until the elimination, I think Rachel and Aviv have played a very similar game.
I think Rachel has done more, though. Like, and maybe that's more airtime and more, you've seen her more. Rachel's definitely been more present than Aviv.
In what ways? Because they both were Team Bananas Angels, and once that happened...
I mean, Rachel's gone in how many eliminations?
Well, a lot of that, once they got rid of the eras...
Okay, well, I mean, she's gone in she went in 3 times and won, 3 eliminations?
But if you're talking about what she's bringing to the season, if she's quote-unquote carrying the show, I think her and Rachel's seasons have been relatively similar.
I think winning an elimination changes how I portray people of the season. Like if you lose, it brings it down. It's like Emily. Emily, for me, this season, huge disappointment. Huge disappointment. She lost.
Aviv was better than her.
This season, 100%. Absolutely. I agree with that. But next season, just because that happened, I would rather have Emily than Aviv still. Yeah, who would you rather have next season? Would you rather have Aviv or Emily?
I would rather have Aviv.
That's crazy.
Emily's on the back 9. She's already peaked.
What's Aviv on the back 17? Like, come
we
on.
don't know. We still have Aviv is still a what if.
Oh my
She's
God.
still a what if.
You're crazy. You're really saying you would rather have Aviv than Emily next season?
Yes, because do I think either of them could actually win? No, I don't. I really don't.
Alex, I just want your side on that.
Emily got out how early in the season? Like she's washed. There, I said it. She was really good back in the day. When you take time off, sometimes you don't come back the same animal. Aviv did. Emily did not.
I cannot believe it.
Tell me I'm wrong. This season was proof.
You are so delusional right now.
She's washed. It's okay. It happens. It's okay. It's like Tom Brady ruined how quarterbacks can't play in their 40s. Bananas ruined the challenge in the exact same way. Not everyone can do it.
Alex, I need you to jump in here because I just don't know what to say. So
I guess so. If you told me that there's one female cast open for next season and it's either going to be Emily or Aviv, I think my answer would my pick, if I was picking, would still be Emily, but I think it's like miles closer than I ever thought it would be before season 40. Like it would pain me to not put Aviv in there. And I think the argument against putting Emily in there is I don't think she's washed, but I do feel like we know what we have from her. I guess like
Yes.
even if she came back on the next season and won it all, it would be a fun story. But it's like we've seen her win before. Whereas like the argument for Aviv would be like this is one of the most interesting challenge careers of all time. She came back after 20 years and was really fucking good. Can she do that for a second straight season, or was that season 40 all a fluke?
Yeah.
So I think
And that's more interesting for me.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point. And like what Aviv did this season was she made herself somebody that like we actually want to see, which is something that I think before the season was not likely.
Well, I don't know. I'm done.
One thing that is going in Emily's favor that is like a no-brainer is she's still throwing 100 on the black. She is still bad.
Well, people forget she was fooling around with Brad this season.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I'm sure they kept in touch.
I just cannot believe you said, Andy, you would rather have Aviv on next season than Emily.
We were just doing this.
It's a personal take. There's no wrong answer. If you give me Emily next season, I'm happy with that. She's a good competitor. She's bad. I don't think she's winning a final. I think she's washed as a competitor. She's doing her little like mindfulness, wellness, meditation, all that. That's okay. That's not for the challenge for me. You guys know I like chaos in the show. I like not knowing what's going to happen. We know what we're going to get with Emily. We don't know what we're going to get with Viva Aviv.
Let me go this last route, and then I'm done. Same cast list this season. It's season 41. Where are you ranking Aviv and where are you ranking Emily? Your power rankings, Andy. Same cast list, and then we're done. I won't even argue it.
I'm ranking Aviv higher than Emily.
Okay, that's all I needed to hear.
She played a better political game. That's a fact. She made it further by a long shot. That's also a fact.
So for season 41, if it was the exact same cast list and you were guessing, you would say you would rank Aviv higher. Okay.
Correct.
Cool. All right. We're segments, or I guess the targets after Jenny beats Aviv is Derek, Corey, and Jordan, which wasn't surprising. Bananas, though, has that time penalty for finishing last. That's something to keep an eye out on. So, segments?
Let's do it.
All right. What do we got?
What do we got? We got this day in challenge history.
Let's hear it.
What was it? This day in challenge history. Fuck, I forget what it was. Oh. Well, there's no way you guys are gonna get this trivia question.
Was that the soda?
On War of the Worlds 2, it was like the start of the finale.
Mm-hmm.
Can you name the 4 challengers that were in the final but purged halfway through?
Was that Michelle?
No, it was USA versus UK. Two people are on season 40.
Jordan?
No, Jordan won. Trev, there's a person who's still on this season.
I
There we
know.
go. All right, we got Tori, Leroy. Those are correct from this season. Ashley is correct. Not Nani. It's one other female who's not on this season.
Not on the season.
Yeah. Someone that I feel like you always kind of bulged at. Someone that was very like this era E. I feel like they get compared legacy wise to Ashley a lot because they were both, I feel like, did a lot of seasons together. Strong females, that type of thing.
Cam?
There it is. Tommy got it. Cam. So Cam, Tori, Leroy, and Ashley.
God, I kind of forgot about Cam.
This was, see, exactly. She was good.
She's very good.
See, I knew you pulled.
I do. I think Cam's really good.
All right, this is the backup trivia question. On Final Reckoning, the season was over, but it was the reunion. Does anybody know who hosted the Final Reckoning reunion?
Vernon Davis.
No.
That really hot chick, Maria Menounos.
No. Initials are DZ.
DZ. Dolph Ziggler.
Yes.
Pull
Who?
that out of my ass. Look at that.
Who is that?
It's Dolph.
I've never seen that person.
Smirk.
All right, what do we got? MVP, LVP?
Yep.
Let's get that order.
Oh,
Mike.
the answer to your question was Cam, by the way, with Ashley. I knew that right away.
What was the question?
Who something with Ashley or yeah. The Purge.
Did anybody see the next on?
Yes, we all saw. And housekeeping note, hand up. I'm not going to be live next week. I'm missing an EP. I'm sorry. I'm busy. ...
Let's hear it.
I might be in to join the pod, but no watch.
It's the Burger King episode.
I know. BK.
That's more important than the trivia episode.
Happy.
And this is also
Have
when you do not want to go home. And Trev's quite literally going home.
you.
You don't get to sing that tonight.
Oh,
No.
come on.
And you're also not allowed to get BK for another 3 months.
That's fine. I don't think I've had it in 3 months. All right.
Whopper.
All right, am I all?
Tommy Tsunami writes, no, Trev. I'm missing out as well. Tommy Tsunami wants on. That's up to Alex and Andy. I'm fine with it.
We'll get into that.
I know they want to do their little Burge Squared pod.
All right, who's up? Me?
What are we doing? It's time for Pluto playback.
God,
What about
I'll
radar
go.
watch? What do we
We
got
can
for
sneak in a
radar watch?
radar watch. I'll go Derek.
Who? You're going Derek for radar watch. I'm going.
I'll go Jordan.
Ooh. I'm going. God, there's like nobody else.
I know, that's why we got to scrap this.
I'm going Kara.
All right, am I up for MVP?
Yeah. Let's do this. MVP.
My MVP.
Wait. We haven't even said the. It's time for MVP, LVP, first person.
McCord already sent it.
We never announced we were doing MVP, LVP. They jumped the gun. That was a very false start
We
on the offense.
absolutely did.
Did we?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Neutral zone
You
infraction.
weren't typing it because you were too busy singing about Burger King.
Oh, all right, whatever. I'm normally one that says MVP, LVP, whatever. Alex, who you got? MVP, LVP.
My MVP didn't like a lot of this episode, didn't like a lot of the challengers. So I think that's a good time to go with someone who's, usually kind of a blanket MVP, but I actually think this person was smirky tonight. I'm going with TJ. I feel like we haven't talked about him a lot this season, and usually that's a good thing. But I feel like tonight was a good episode. Him coming out of the little tunnel, when Bananas was saying, I'm going to punch this guy when he was trying to solve the puzzle. And it was just kind of showing TJ back there, just like trying not to start laughing. Like that was smirky. The puzzle itself was of TJ's face. I mean, who made that? I was just all in for TJ tonight.
And he also later on, I think it might have even been Rachel, even though she didn't finish the puzzle. TJ said, like, would you punch that guy in the face?
I think it was Michelle.
Michelle?
Yeah.
That was great. I love that pick.
Good pick. I hate every pick tonight for MVP. I'm debating on a controversial pick of BK because I saw it.
Whoa, you don't get to pick. No.
I can do whatever the fuck I want.
This episode was over. That was not part of this episode.
It was attached on. It's the challenge.
No.
8 p.m. to 9:30.
No.
Going BK because that little small sliver was the best moment of tonight's episode, and it got me fired up for next week, even though I'm not going to be on next week.
When you rewatch this episode, that is not included.
Yes,
that
it is.
little snippet is not part of,
yes, it is.
Of Paramount Plus. That part will not be on the tail end of this episode.
It was on tonight's episode. We always do tonight's episode. I'm going BK. Andy, who you got?
That's I'm shocked this person fell to me. He's going to see a final. I'm going Johnny Bananas.
Oh my God.
This is why this right here was the culmination of why he did the Bananas Angels with the 3 that he selected. He selected 3 girls who are going to make it far, that are good competitors. He didn't rely on Olivia or all these girls that have just been flaking away. He picked 3 heavy hitters. They lasted late. This was the last female elimination, which also meant the last male targets before the finale, and he's safe as a result. Anyone else outside of the Bananas Angels, he's getting in, but he picked the right horses. He's going to the final as long as he doesn't finish last. And even if he does finish last, he's going against Derek or who is it? Corey. He's beaten both of them. But he punched his ticket tonight.
Wow.
Banana Man. This might be his number 1 season of all time.
I don't know how much I got left in me, Tej. Okay. LVP, who you got?
And my streak is alive. God, I had my LVP and I really want to take it. I'm going LVP Trev. That little stunt that you pulled with your MVP pick, I'm not having it. You've already preemptively said that you're going to miss the pot. I respect being out there, being open, but guess what? When you miss the BK episode, you don't get to pick BK as an MVP. You're pulling some shit. I have none of it. I will not accept it. You're my LVP.
Wow.
I mean, that's fine. I don't really care. You can give me LVP. I mean, people forget, though. There's been 17 podcasts this season. I've been on all 17 of them. Alex has been on 16 of them. Andy has been on 13. So even though when Andy's doing his little Cara and Pauly extravaganza out on the cruise and stuff, he's missed it 4 times. I've been here. I'm 17 for 17. I even did a solo pod and then joined I had to get the Infinity Gauntlet with all my. Did you watch the episode?
I was on the episode.
I can join next week. I just won't be live. So I have no idea. I can still join. I thought that was a big no-no. I just wanted to include you a part of it because
You did that for a whole season.
I did. Classic me. My LVP tonight is going to be Bananas Angels. I think they took a huge hit. Bananas losing doesn't help. Losing Aviv, now it's basically Rachel. And And this is I kind of want Bananas to win next week so bad so he can save Rachel and be safe. But that's my pick.
Good pick.
Is that it?
My only question is, would you view the Bananas Angels? I would view it as a success more than a failure because 2/3 of them are still here.
Mm-hmm.
So, Aviv just happened to, if this was a puzzle-y elimination, Jenny could be gone. And same with Rachel. But, if you were to rewind the clocks before the Angels started and you told those 3 girls, if you were a part of the Bananas Angels, there would be a 67% chance you would make it to episode 18. I think they would all sign up for that.
Well, there was a 4th angel,
Who's the 4th angel?
Laurel.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Laurel. God, Laurel sucked this season.
And remember, I think Josh was in Bananas Angels for a second.
I think that's right.
I think that was a good pick for tonight's episode, but I do think challenge history will look fondly on Bananas Angels.
But a good pick for tonight.
Yeah.
Well, that's how we do MVP LVP for tonight's episodes.
Which is why I know you've been on 17 episodes, but you're still my LVP for tonight.
That's fine. For a part that wasn't even on tonight's 90-minute episode.
My LVP was based on your performance tonight.
All right, that's fine.
All right, am I up?
Andy's about to get LVP the rest of the year for me, which I guess I'm not going to be on. I'll have to make some phone calls in.
We'll
get ready for a new streak, buddy. It's going to be LVP Andy.
All right, am I up?
Yeah.
Just some wild picks so far. The only person that really made me mad this episode was Tori, kind of. But she also was showing out with some of those outfits, so I can't bring myself to go that way. So I'm kind of just looking forward a bit. And it's a little out of the box but I guess I'm just going to go because this episode is boring. It fucking sucked. But I'm going to go with Derek. Derek is now a target. He has played an incredible social game up to this point, but he got to a point where, regardless of who won the elimination, it was going to be an angel saving Bananas. And when Kylan's already safe and you're saving Bananas, that means the other 3 guys are all going in, Derek being one of them. And so his social game kind of stops there. He can't save himself anymore. And I mean, you put yourself in his shoes, and I know he won the last male daily, and that was a good one. He beat Jordan head to head, but if he looks around, his competition is insane. Bananas, Jordan, Kylan's been incredible this season. The worst person left besides Derek is Corey. And before he used to have kind of the goof to fall back to. But now Derek is very clearly bottom of the totem pole. And we're assuming there's only going to be one guy out of these 5 that doesn't make the final. And I feel he's the odds-on favorite to be that guy, and he's not in a good position being a target heading into next week.
Great pick. I've got 2 honorable mentions. One being Kylan for MVP. Big win today. And he's looking like he wants to be in that top tier with Jordan and Bananas. And so far, he's proven that he can be. And then
honorable mention LVP Andy. He's a little bitch.
It doesn't hit the same. It doesn't go on the record books.
Fine. I just want to get it out there.
I want to also throw out to Alex's point of the Tory factor. Got to give an honorable mention LVP to Carl and Fake Devin.
Yeah.
Needs to be said. That was going to be my pick until the MVP picks were made.
Honorable mention Fenway for 16th straight episode that Fenway's been a part of. More episodes than Andy. People forget that.
Or it's just for this episode, though.
I know. It's 16. That's the new streak number. Just impressive.
It's for this episode.
I'm just saying.
It's funny you talk streaks when your streak is quite literally coming to an end next week.
What if I'm just kidding? What if I'm Bach?
Oh God.
We'll see. Have it your way.
All right, we done?
I think so.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I've been your host, Trevor. You can follow us on Twitter at Stir the Pod. You can follow us on Instagram at Stir_the_pod. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Shout out Duffy. Bye-bye.